it's me, Krism, here with another video. I actually posted one. It hasn't been a year or 6 months. I'm really trying. I really want to post at least one video a week, but I am not committing to that yet because I have an extreme amount of work. I'm working about 60 hours at the moment with other things, including live streaming and working on 2 Lesbians Play over on Minx's channel, and potentially doing some videos on the Krism channel, and also doing some artwork for this channel. So I have a very big workload at the moment, so I'm not going to commit to goddamn anything. You're just going to have to subscribe to see when I post another video, which there's at least one more that I have already edited. I just need to decide what rant I'm going to put to the video. So for the rant about this video, this is a continuation of the previous, well, continuation. I'm finishing off the picture that I did a speed paint of in the previous video. It's a couple months overdue, but I'm doing it. Here I am fixing the shading on Jill's eyes, which I don't think I really like in the end, but I'm learning. I took like a 3-year-long hiatus from drawing, going through some personal junk, and I'm just kind of like this year actually starting to fully get back into drawing, and I have a lot of stuff to sort of reteach myself or learn because I never properly learned it, and shading is one of them. But at least I remembered not to shade with black or gray. That's a step up. So anyway, talking about the characters again, they are from a comic that I am working on called Lost in Limbo, and it is about the girl on the left. Her name is Florence, and I touched on it a little bit in the previous speed paint video, but here's a quick summary of it. Florence is a girl who is taken to Limbo before her time. She's alive and she's not meant to be there, and she becomes trapped in Limbo. And I didn't touch on this in the previous video, but one of the big side effects of when you die, at least in the canon of the comic, obviously, is when you go to Limbo, you forget what happened in your life. And because you're in Limbo, because you have some sort of deep regret or something that is stopping your soul from being able to freely move on into the afterlife, your job becomes almost like a personal detective on your own history and figuring out who you were, what you did, what your big regret is, so you can process it and find closure and move on. And Florence ends up with that side effect, and she can't remember her life, but she also ends up trapped in Limbo even though she shouldn't be there, and she has to simultaneously piece together who she was while trying to escape Limbo before anybody finds out that she's alive, because that's a big bad. And adventure and secrets and drama ensue. Now, that's over. I've recorded that fucking intro like 3 different times now, but whatever. Getting back into this. These 3 characters are, well, like I said, Florence is on the left, Jill is in the middle, as you can see, and the end one is Jill's girlfriend. And as you can see, Florence really does not like Jill's girlfriend. Like, she freaking hates her guts, like a lot, and you'll find out why in the comic. But doing this part of the picture, I obviously thought of it as a snapshot from the inception of it, like this sketch, but I decided to frame it more like a Polaroid in this, which I will do later after I finish up the shading of the characters. And it made me start thinking about my own life, because I was thinking of like making a couple different Polaroids with like little tiny descriptions of them, and like making maybe a wallpaper type image. And that's something I never got into scrapbooking when I was younger, or even now really, although I really would like to get into it. Because when I was younger, the whole concept of journaling or scrapbooking or like documenting stuff, it just seemed like a waste of time. My mom was really into it, and I guess that kind of deterred me from doing it, because it was one of those things where I wasn't interested at the time, and then someone tried to force me to be interested in it. So I was very stubborn, and I was like, no, I'm never gonna do it. And I was such a stupid fucking kid, because I'm like, no, that would have been amazing. That would have been awesome. I don't have a good memory, so when I see the very few pictures of myself, I think I've only ever seen like 5 or 10 pictures of myself when I was younger, because a lot of them were either lost or got damaged with like flood or something like that, you know, lots of stuff. Also, I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s where, you know, digital cameras were not widely a thing. So, you know, you had to buy the film and shit like that. And my parents were not extraordinarily wealthy, so we didn't have a camera at all given times, you know. It was on, you didn't, it's not like nowadays where you can take like 20 freaking pictures in 5 seconds, you know, and not have to worry about it, because if your freaking space fills up, you can just upload some of the pictures to the cloud and delete them and make room for more, you know. And I'm sure there's probably lots of film that was never even freaking developed that's probably expired now, which is a shame. But it just got me thinking about memory, especially, you know, since one of the big plot devices in the comic is not being able to remember your life and being forced to like piece it back together. And sometimes I feel like I do that with my own stuff, like my own actual life, because I'm looking at a picture of myself and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? And or how old was I? Because I basically looked the same for like, I don't know, 10 years, because I went into puberty really freaking early. So when I was 10 years old, I kind of looked like I was 14, 15. And then between the ages of like actual 14 and like 19, I basically look the same. And I just look at these pictures of myself and I'm like, what was I doing? Where was it going? Why did I not even write down the fucking year on the back of this? You know, I get so frustrated with myself. And I don't know, I just so wish. And journaling. I see YouTube videos about people like looking at their old journals and diaries and stuff like this, and I'm like, oh my god, that would be so cool. Also, it'd probably be really depressing, because I remember being very depressed when I was younger, because I was a lesbian in a very religious family. But it still would have been nice. Like, I think I have 2 journal entries from when I was younger, with 1 picture corresponding to one of the entries. And it's just, even though it's kind of sad, it's really nice to have that documentation. And I guess it also made me start thinking about memories and how they're fleeting and yet powerful. Like some memories stick with you, and then other memories, even though they might seem important at the time, don't. And it's not like you can just force yourself to remember something. Well, I guess technically you can, but you can't usually consciously force yourself to remember something. And I don't know, I find it so strange. I find it very, very strange. And I don't know, I take so many pictures now. I know that's a common thing, like everybody takes lots of pictures, but I don't really take that many pictures of myself, because for a long time I was anonymous and I was like, well, I'm not gonna post them on the internet, so why bother? But then again, freaking sitting here thinking, oh my god, 20-year-old me, you're such a fucking idiot, why didn't you take pictures? That's another thing. Isn't it strange how you're so different depending on where you are in your life, you know? I mean, everyone already has a cringy childhood. Every single person does. But even like me of a couple years ago, I don't really have pictures of myself, but I guess it's recent enough that I can still remember how cringy I was. Fairly easily, very easily, in fact. And I don't know, it just made me think of all that sort of stuff, and I figured, well, if it's gonna be a 12-minute speed paint, I might as well put some sort of rambly sort of type thing in it to make it, you know, not just music. I feel like that would be kind of, yeah. Memories are weird. Scrapbooking looks really cool. Journaling. I actually keep a journal now. I have for the past 2 years, I think. One of the journals accidentally got lost, which is a shame, because it was actually the journal I kept on my wedding day and on my wedding night, and I wrote through it periodically throughout the day. Oh, I really wanted to save it, and it got lost, and it broke my heart. But at least I was smart enough to have like a couple different cameras going. It's not the best quality, but at least it's nice to have some sort of backstage view. Oh, and here's me putting in a little description, because something I wish I did all the fucking time, but I never did, because I was stupid. Don't be like me. Write down who's in the picture, because then you'll look at pictures and I'm just like, okay, that's me. Who are all these other people and what are we doing? I saw myself putting on the blush on the characters. It's something that I'm trying to get used to doing. Putting red tinge in the cheeks of characters, because I am writing a comic based in the land of the dead, where the distinction between the dead and the living, at least in Limbo, is going to be the saturation of the palettes and blood in the cheeks and stuff like that. So little hints like that, but I'm not sure how much I like it. I'm not used to doing it, and I know that's a very big faddish thing to do. Make your cheeks of your characters really, really, really red in your nose. But I never liked it. I never liked how it looked, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, yes, I understand that you got the blood in your ears and your cheeks and your nose and your lips. But I also know that unless you're in the cold, or you have a cold, or you're an alcoholic, you're not gonna be that red constantly. So I don't know, but I feel like that's a rant for another video. Anyway, so that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you liked the ramble, if you thought the ramble should have been shorter or more concise, or what have you. If you liked the art, hopefully you liked one or the other, but hopefully you liked both. But it's the first proper speed paint talking over I've ever done, so be gentle with me, please. Thank you for watching again. I don't know when another video will be. Hopefully next week, same day, but we'll see. And if you want to watch me draw live, I stream on Twitch on Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. UK. That's when I draw and stuff. So if you want to watch me draw live, there you go. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.